Hi, this is Christine Beadsworth, and this is part 2 of me sharing about my dreams which occurred on the 13th of May 2020. After I had the dream of the fighter pilot call-up, I had a second dream on the same night, in which I followed the two women who had been in conversation into an eagle sanctuary. There were many different fenced-off protected areas, each with an eagle or two inside. People were walking around viewing and studying the magnificent birds. Then the woman who had related the pilot dream said excitedly, "There is the owner of the sanctuary," and she indicated an older man who was wearing a black t-shirt. He had silver hair and was walking away from us, and on the back of his t-shirt was a logo in gold embroidery thread saying Leuvenville, 2 words. And the spelling of Leuven is L-I-E-U-W-E-N. I stared at it for a moment and then realized it meant the Lions Village, and that the spelling was intentional. The woman told me that this man's name was Liu, L-I-E-U, and that it was whispered that he was involved in a secret training project with the Eagles. I really wanted to find out more about this project, so I went to the information desk, which was situated at the exit to the sanctuary, and asked for a brochure about this training project. The man behind the counter said, "Oh no, nothing has been written down about this project." So I then made a private appointment with Liu to find out more about the secret training he was doing with his eagles. Then I woke up and I was given the understanding that the fighter pilots who had been called up and the eagles were one and the same. The eagles were also the young lions being trained by the older lion, Liu. Liu, in Afrikaans or Dutch, L-E-E-U, is a lion. And his silver hair represented the wisdom that he carried. A confirmation of what I had dreamt that morning, as I walked around my neighborhood, an eagle landed in a tree right in front of me and then took off again, and this is a very rare sight where I live. Now, Liu, L-I-E-U, is pronounced exactly the same as the word for lion in Dutch and Afrikaans, but the fact that the spelling was intentional indicated that this man's name had a double meaning. L-I-E-U's etymology tells us that the word comes from the late 13th century, and it's used usually as part of a phrase in lieu of, which means in place of or instead of. So this man whose name means in place of represents Jesus, the Lion of Judah, who died in our place. This mighty lion is now running a secret training program of which there is no record, because such training has never been done before in the history of the world or the church, and it is also not recorded in written form in order to keep the details secret. As I was meditating on this concept, I saw the man, Liu, go up to each eagle's enclosure and speak to them, and as he did, his words flowed from his mouth into his cupped hands until they became full, and then he would offer this double portion to the eagle to feast upon. He spoke different words to each eagle. This vision showed me that the training is via the spoken word, not the written word, from the mouth of him who was the Word made flesh. I realized Vil, V-I-L, is short for village, and then the Spirit prompted me to search for the word for village in Scripture, and I discovered that this Hebrew word, which is Strong's Concordance H3715, also means young lion. So the young lions are a village. Leuvenville, directly translated using the Spirit's coded understanding, means the Lion of Judah's young lions. And strangely enough, for the natural mind to grasp, these lions are actually also eagles. It is the gathering and safe dwelling place of the young lions, and it is also the place where a secret training program is being executed in a manner that is untraceable. 2 nights later, in the middle of a dream, I heard the Father's voice saying, "You must only eat the food I give you." And then the book of Job was highlighted. So I had a conversation with the Lord when I woke up to get clarification. Lord, do you mean I mustn't eat what others feed me, like Job's friends who tried to feed him their version of the truth, but later you said none of what they had spoken of you was right? So I must eat no words except words from your lips at this time? Yes, daughter, I am putting you on a specific training diet for the assignment I have for you. It's no good eating other people's food. That is what I'm feeding them. Do each of the eagles at your sanctuary get specific diets? Now you're getting the picture. So the dream and this conversation we're having now is part of my private interview with Liu that I asked for? Yes, daughter. I will feed each of my eagles from my own hands. There will be no need to search for scraps from other bowls. You will get more than enough to chew on and digest each day. Notice that the following verse tells us that the young lions, or eagles in training, get their meat from God and not man. Psalm 104, verse 21. The young lions roar after their prey and seek their meat from God. Like the fighter pilots who each get their call-up and assignment details in the night through visions, dreams, and secret counsel, these young lions are being trained to hunt down and take the prey in a secret training assignment. Both lions and eagles are extremely fast when striking and laying hold of their prey, and each one is receiving a carefully tailored spiritual diet to give them the exact spiritual nutrition needed to successfully take out the enemy on their targeted assignments. For those who are eagles, being quietly and secretly trained, it is a time for intense focus on digesting what the Lion of Judah is speaking to you daily. Do not try and take in other nourishment, even though there is a massive bombardment of both prophetic words and teaching articles being sent out at present. Eat only what he requires you to eat. Do not feel, if you don't open a link or read through a long prophetic word forwarded by someone else, that you will be robbing yourself and not be fully equipped. The Spirit is well able to nourish and equip each of his eagles and have them in peak condition at the time of release to the target. There may be many tourists browsing through the eagle sanctuary, admiring the different magnificent birds, but there is a fence which separates the birds from the general public. They are there to just browse around spiritual venues or surf the internet looking for something interesting to read. But the time for that is over. Each eagle is set apart from the general public, and even from one another to some extent, and they are set apart unto the specific training assignment indicated by heaven. Time is short, and every hour of every day counts in this training time. If each remnant saint does exactly what they are called to do, and only that, the fullness of kingdom purposes will be fulfilled. There is a massive deployment of seasoned saints in progress at this time, and we are going to rain down out of the womb of the morning like dew upon the grass, as Psalm 110 describes. Your people will offer themselves willingly in the day of your power. From the womb of the morning will spring forth your young men who are as the dew. God is going to execute his righteous judgments in the earth. I also sense that the message by Dutch Sheets on God's war eagles is relevant at this time. But if and only if the Spirit releases you to watch it, you can find it on YouTube. Just search for Dutch Sheets and war eagles and it will come up. And I want to end with Micah 5 verse 7 to 9. Then the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many peoples, like dew from the Lord, like showers upon the grass, which come suddenly and tarry not for man, nor wait for the sons of men. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the nations, in the midst of many peoples, like a lion among the beasts of the forest, like a young lion suddenly appearing among the flocks of sheep, which when it goes through treads down and tears in pieces, and there is no deliverer. Your hand will be lifted up above your adversaries, and all your enemies shall be cut off. May the Lord bless you and add insight and understanding to what I've shared.